Debbie, I gave you all the
Oh,
paperwork.
sorry.
on that.
We're gonna resolve the driving without no insurance with a civil infraction. You know, approved.
All right, well, good. Thanks for your help. Ms. Pattison, this got complicated once I realized you had an open pending domestic violence case, but it was set for next week and you're here, so we're going to take care of it this morning.
I appreciate that.
But on the merits of the traffic case alone, let's talk about that one first. You're charged no proof of insurance or no insurance. It's alleged you were driving a car in Three Rivers on January 23rd and you had no valid insurance on the car. As I told you, that's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of not less than $200. There's a lesser charge known as no proof of insurance. No proof of insurance is a civil infraction. It's punishable by a fine of $150. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, you already got one of those and you haven't paid the fine. No, allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. You don't have another one of these. So I want you to start to pay on your fines. You understand? All right. So are you going to admit to not having the insurance slip
Yes,
in
sir.
your car at the time of the stop? All right. Fine and cost is $150. Part of payment plan. And it owes an old seatbelt ticket. We'll get that paid. And the other case was a break. It's allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. That was in 2024. We're now in 2026. And apparently you haven't paid anything on that. I can wipe that out with a jail sentence. I could do 3 days in jail and wipe out the $325 fine, but I'm sure you'd rather pay the fine.
I'll pay it.
All right, I want you to do that. And this one. So you owe a total of $403 plus $150. Total due now is $150 or $553. So before we go, I'll send you out to the counter. Now, let's talk about the new charge. Ms. Davis resolved the traffic portion. The new charge, which is file 26194SM, alleges a domestic violence. It's alleged on February 6th that you assaulted your daughter it started with throwing a bag of candy and then it sort of went downhill from there. That's the allegation. So they took you to jail that night.
Correct.
My recommendation at this point, Ms. Pattison, you plead not guilty on that charge and we get an attorney to help you with this.
Your Honor, we discussed the allegations kind of pre-instant pre-trial, and we are going to dismiss without prejudice at this point.
Okay, well, that's even better. Ms. Davis got a handle on this. And all right, so the bag of candy caper on February 6th is dismissed. Are you on probation or parole anywhere else?
No, sir.
That's all over with?
Yeah.
Very good. Well, you just owe me $500. The DV case is dismissed.
Is that a PR bond? There's already money in there.
There was $1,000 surety bond, it looks like. Did you post a bond through a bonding company?
No,
Did you?
I took it to the page at county jail.
Well, if there is any bond in here, you're entitled to get it returned.
it was $100.
There's bond in file, we can't apply it to fine and costs. In the other cases. Can't tell from what I'm looking at.
I can look in WebJam and see if there's something.
But I don't disbelieve you. The clerks may be able to tell. All right, the good news is you took care of everything here today. You got a generous gift of a no proof of insurance from the prosecutor, but you have insurance now. You also got the domestic violence charge dismissed. So you don't have to come back on the 17th as for your original arraignment date. I lost my court officer, but we'll take the files out. You can set up a payment plan. If there is $100 of bond in there, and if it's in your name, we'll apply it to the existing fines and costs, which will reduce it to $403. So you go out to the counter. And Laura, would you take these files out for us?
The notes in WebJam from the jail indicate they posted a 10% cash bond.
All right, so there should be $90. The court keeps 10% of a 10% bond. So there should be $90 at least to apply on that.
Thank you, Ron.
All right, Jordan, thank you for your help. Ms. Davis, thank you for yours. Ms. Pattison, you go out to the counter and then you're good to go.
Thank you.
Good plan.
All right, I have 2 sentences at 11. We'll address those at that time. Deborah, as far as I know, we're going to continue the prelim in Shook. Do you have any knowledge about Bradley Chapman?
Angelique is handling that. I can check in with her.
All right.
Have her check in with you.
Tim said Jennings was going to be a misdemeanor plea. All right,
Yes.
we'll be in recess.
Thank you. Ron.
All right, thank you. All right, Jordan, that's why you make the big bucks. So thanks for helping me this morning.
Yep.
Mr. Stickley's going to be gone for a period of time, so the defenders have been filling in on these daily arraignments, and I do appreciate their help. Stop. Are you Brayton James Jennings?
I am.
This is file number 26103FY. Mr. Jennings, you're here with your lawyer, Mr. Timothy George. Also present is prosecuting attorney Deborah Davis. You're charged in a felony complaint that alleges that on or about January 20th in the village of Centerville that you did enter without permission and break into a home at 329 East Ann Street, while present did commit an assault against Destiny Lilly and another. The way this is charged, that's a felony punishable by up to 20 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $5,000. Second count alleges assault by strangulation. It's a different form of assault with intent to commit grave bodily harm. That is a felony punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $5,000. They also allege that you are a 4th habitual offender, essentially making each of those punishable by up to life imprisonment. In count 3, you're charged with domestic violence or domestic assault on Destiny Lilly, and that's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. This morning, your lawyer, Mr. George, told me that they were working on a plea agreement that would reduce this matter to a misdemeanor, and apparently that's the case. Ms. Davis, what's the status here?
Your Honor, the people have offered that if Mr. Jennings pleads to a aggravated domestic violence, we would dismiss the remainder. He is currently on parole and on felony probation out of Branch County.
All right, well, let's break that down. These are serious charges, punishable by up to 20 years and 10 years. As a habitual offender, they're supplemented to maximize the sentence, which could make each of these punishable by up to life imprisonment. The misdemeanor charge is a simple domestic assault, first offense. The prosecutors agreed to dismiss all of those charges, essentially reducing count 2, assault strangulation, to a lesser charge of assault aggravated domestic violence. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Would prevent you from using or possessing a firearm, but I think you already may have a firearm prohibition because of your felony convictions. So the felony charges would be dismissed for a plea to that 1-year misdemeanor offense. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you intend to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that it will also potentially be a violation of your parole and your probation in Branch County, but I don't have any control over that? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you understand that if you do plead to this charge, you're going to be giving up all of these rights? Thank you, Mr. George, including your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury. Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Other than this plea agreement, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this charge
No, sir.
or threaten you?
No, sir.
You seem pretty straightforward here. Well, this doesn't read very well. I want to read the booking form. I also did a personal protection order in this case, so I know a little more than maybe I would normally know because I read the personal protection order petition. Did you go into Destiny Lilly's apartment on January 20th?
I did.
And did you grab her by the face and push her into a closet door, breaking a mirror?
I did.
And did you grab her by the throat at some point?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is that sufficient for you, Miss Davis?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. George?
Yes, sir.
All right, I accept your plea to aggravated domestic. And did you have a relationship with her?
Kind
was
of,
your-
sort of.
Well, had she been your previous girlfriend?
Yes, we have a child together.
All right. Who's your PO?
Tim Robinson, Kalamazoo County.
I saw you had a number of B&Es from Branch County on your criminal record. Is that what you're on parole for?
The home invasions.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But your probation's transferred to Kalamazoo County?
Yes, sir, because that was where my address was at the time.
Well, you live in Fulton. What county is that in?
Fulton's Kalamazoo County.
All right. I suppose we should get more information before we shoot from the hip. Is
Your
Desiree Lilly here?
She is, Your Honor. She does not wish to speak. She did, however, she was aware of this. She understands the offer. She is in agreement with it. The situation with Mr. Jennings being on probation out of Branch County is my understanding. He's got 1 year of suspended jail time that is probably going to be instituted as soon as he is released to Branch County. He did spend about a third of his life in prison for the home invasions over in Branch County. I believe he was like 18 or 19 when he went to prison and stayed there for his 7-year minimum before being released in 2024, I believe it was. And then his drug use is what led to the felony charge over in Branch County while he was on parole and his attorney brokered a deal that he would get time served, but have 1 year suspended to make sure he complied. And now here we are with this incident. So the victim is willing to, she's here today so that the court could go forward with sentencing if you so choose. I think the bigger issue is going to be what MDOC does with him.
Well, right now, we don't have a Branch County sitting judge, circuit
No,
judge.
sir.
I think I know what Judge O'Grady would do with it. But I don't know who will be doing this, probably a visiting judge. Mr. George, what's your thought?
Your Honor, I know that in speaking with my client, two concerns. First, I think Ms. Davis mentioned it in another context, but there was some significant substance abuse that was going on. My client still.
Which
struggled.
substance we're talking about? Methamphetamine?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Also significant mental health issues. I found when I first met with my client in the jail, obviously the weight of the situation I think was weighing on him, but I found him to be extremely depressed. I think the fact that he was in the jail was the only thing keeping him from being suicidal. He had indicated to me that right before this happened, he had arranged to meet with somebody over at Pines, over in Coldwater, to get some treatment, and was desperate to get Lauren from Pivotal to come and talk to him. He had to kind of go through a couple of hurdles, but Lauren did ultimately speak with him. And I think once he understood that this was going to be, at least at this part of it, handled on a misdemeanor level, I think that gave him a big sense of relief. He obviously understands, and I think the big elephant in the room is he's got the parole and the probation hammers both hanging over him. But he was pretty straightforward with me about his conduct that day, what he did.
He
didn't mince
just
words.
was with me. He didn't beat around the bush or minimize it. He just owned it.
And I know that he's embarrassed by it and feels bad about it. We would defer to the court on what the appropriate sentence is.
Well, in my humble opinion, if somebody's on parole and they commit an aggravated domestic assault, they should probably go back to prison. But that isn't my decision. Parole decisions are essentially made by the Department of Corrections and the full parole board. Probation decisions are made by the sentencing circuit judge. I don't think he's gonna just walk. Normally, I did one this morning where Mr. Cap was gonna go to Muskegon County and probably go to prison if he's convicted. So I just let him go. This is a similar kind of case. I do have the ability to go ahead and do the sentence. But
Your Honor, I did, if the court doesn't know, I was able to confirm that there is a hold from parole on him at the jail. When I was over there this morning, I checked with the deputies and they did indicate that there is a hold.
all right. Normally, on this kind of case, there could be some serious consequence. This is a question of whose jail he's in. As I indicated, there is a personal protection order in effect, so you're not to have any contact with a complaining witness by mail, text, email, jail mail, snail mail, Instagram, Snapchat, MySpace, I don't know, no contact whatsoever. Updating myself. I'm gonna order 25 days, credit 19. Waive everything but the minimum allowable cost, $125 or 2 additional days. May be released to Branch County hold.
Is it Branch or County that has the
It's
hold?
being supervised out of Kalamazoo, because the Fulton address is in Kalamazoo, but
Okay.
it is a Branch County case.
So to make sure.
All right, Mr. Jennings. We used to get lots of break-ins. They were called breaking and entering. Then they became home invasions. Lots of them, dozens of them. And the early days of the probation center were filled with young men B&Ers. They don't get very many breaking and enterings anymore, which is a blessing. I think a lot of it have to do with security cameras and other things. But you had a string there in 2017 where they charged about 6 or 7 of these, which resulted in a harsh sentence. And growing up in prison doesn't do much for someone's mental health. You needed methamphetamine like a hole in the head. But you seem clear-eyed, intelligent when I talked to you today. Essentially, we're done with you here in St. Joe County. You're gonna go to Branch County and they'll proceed accordingly. You're good to go, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you want Mr. Shook next?
Sure, I'm ready to go.